Alrighty. I'll make a short, hopefully short, video trying to make a simple Rot13 encryptor, decryptor on AutoIt. Really, encryption is the same as decryption, essentially. You just go kind of back and forth, you know, because it rotates by 13. There's 26 characters in the alphabet, so, you know, one is the other, and vice, whatever, same thing. This other shit out of the background here. Sure it's, there we go, right size, okay. Okay. So now where were we? Okay, I've already got taken it from the input box. Let me go ahead and save it real fast. Oops, wrong folder. Scripts. Rot13. Very, very creative with these script titles usually. So line 1, we have the input box, putting in the string the person enters, storing it in this variable here, making my function here, which just takes the input. When we actually call it, it's going to be something like, you know, encrypted equals. Actually, I always like to put, because it's implicit variable types, you know, everything's a variant in AutoIt. To keep track of things, it's good to practice with this, or like with VB script, put a single character or a short descriptor of the intended value type. In this case, it's string, so I have S input, and this is going to be S encrypted because it's another string. And we'll have the output of Rot13 using S input, and then like a message box. Your decrypted, encrypted, decrypted string is the 2 carriage return line feeds and S encrypted. And then exit. It's not really necessary to call exit in AutoIt because that when it reaches the last non-function line of code, it exits anyway, but you know. So very simple. And here, okay, inside the actual function, which is where all the rest of the code is going to go now, that I got the main interaction parts made. We're going to loop through the string, character by character, set the current character in this for loop to string mid, input string. The character, the start is going to be the iteration in the loop. So we start out, it's going to be 1, so the first character, because string mid is 1 based, not 0 based. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. Let me actually look at the help file real fast. 1 equals, okay, yeah, it's 1 based. And then, how many characters? 1. And the reason I'm doing that is so I don't have to call the string mid function every fucking time I reference the character in the loop. Now we're going to have a switch statement, or actually select. We're first going to look at the type. If it's basically a number or a symbol, we're going to do nothing with it, basically. We're just going to add it on to the output string and continue. But if, of course, it's a character, if it's a if it's an alpha character, then we're going to do the Rot13 conversion on it and add that character to the output, one character at a time. So, actually, it could be a switch. I mean, you could do the same thing either way, but I like using switches whenever possible when you're only dealing with one value that you need to take a look at. So switch. Oh, how the fuck am I going to do this? My brain is a little rusty here. String is... Okay, we have var_get type, but it's all going to be string, essentially. No, it is going to be a need. It is going to need to be a select. So select case, because we're going to have to use different functions to check for different things. Case. Oh, what am I thinking? Okay, I know what to do. I'm going to open another script that I had and just copy the select statement from it because we're dealing with uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols. So instead of writing it all out again, I'm going to do the random string generator that I had. Switch type. Oh no, it's not going to be it. But okay, we want these values here, basically. At the very least. So we are going to do a switch. Never mind. Switch. Get the get the ASCII code of the character. Current char. Notice I say char. C-H-A-R is short for character. When people say char, I want to fucking strangle them until their eyes pop out. I cannot tell you how fucking much that bugs me. Current char for character. It is not char. Fuck. Now, case. I've already listed the ASCII ranges for these. Let's get the symbol first of all. A bunch of different kind of broken up. The symbols are not all contiguous in an ASCII range. So we're going to do this. Case 33 to 47. You need to look at the syntax for cases. Oh, you can delimit them with commas. That's cool. Okay. It looks like. So you can see it here. Make this fit inside the window. Yeah. Value, to value, comma, value to value. Okay. So actually, we don't even have to change anything here. That'll be perfectly valid. Actually, no, hold on. To, not hyphen. It's just the way I wrote it in the comment. Out and equals for concatenation of strings. It's what you use. You don't use plus equals because that would try and do a numeric, you'd try to do arithmetic on it, which wouldn't work on a string. Out and equals current char. And continue. Next case, number. See, it'd be nice if we could just do... Actually, string is... Okay, there's nothing with... So yeah, programming and scripting, there's no right or wrong way to do anything as long as the end result is right. You know, one way is going to be faster usually, another way is going to be easier to read, another way is going to be more efficient, etc. But ends justify the means in programming more than any other aspect in life, to be honest. Now, there's a difference between is number, which actually checks to see if the value of the variable is a number. And if you have this, and you do is number, it's going to return false, because it's a string. It doesn't do type conversion inside those functions for you, which is good because you don't really want that. So you do string is alphanumeric, alpha, an ASCII value, a digit, floating point number, integer, lowercase, white space, uppercase. What is X digit? Oh, a hexadecimal. But unfortunately, there isn't one for string is symbol, because it's a little bit opaque. There's a lot of different symbols and different encoding, but in ASCII, I mean, it's pretty much this list that I have written out here. All printing characters, anyway, which I think includes space. I hope so, actually. I need to make sure that it does. So we're just going to stick with these values. Case, digit, which is going to be 48 to 57, 0 to 9, or 9 to 0, whatever the fuck, 1 to 0, I don't know. Actually, it doesn't need to be a separate case statement. Because we're having, okay, 47, 48, and then 57. We can actually just do 33 to 64. This will comprise both symbols and numerals. Numbers, whatever. I'm trying to be wordsmith over here. Now we just need uppercase and lowercase, because we're going to have to do slightly different conversion on that. Or we might not. I'm obviously thinking this out as I'm going here. This is very stream of consciousness, I'm sorry. So that's going to be our uppercase for now. Now we're going to do, let's see. I'm going to have to visualize this because I'm so programming challenged sometimes. We want the ASCII character list. Very, very useful. Doing uppercase, so this range right here. Now the problem, you can't just add 13, obviously, because if the characters, for example, are, and you add 13, it's going to give you 95, which is going to return an underscore, which is not correct. So we're actually going to need to do another case statement. Now 65, last character is 90, so 77, 78, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 78 to 90 is where the cutoff's going to be, and we're going to actually decrement by 13. Yeah. So 65 to 77. Uppercase A to M. we're going to do out and equals we get the ASCII value of the current character at 13, then return a character corresponding to this modified ASCII value. Case 78 to 90, uppercase N to Z. We're going to do the same thing, but you guessed it, minus 13. So N will give us A, Z will give us M, etc. And now the exact same thing for lowercase. In fact, I'm just going to copy these two case statements and change the ASCII ranges. Lowercase, we start with 97, go to 109. And then 98. No, I'm fucking retarded here, I'm sorry. 110 to 122. And case, you can't really have else's, oh yeah you can, it's a switch. Case else, once again I'm playing programming golf after the fact here. There's no need to look for that shit. All we're dealing with are alphabetical characters. So case else, we only need this one statement for everything else. Continue loop is an explicit instruction to continue the loop, even though implicitly it's going to continue on. End switch. Next, end the for loop. That's basically it. Return out our added up, rotated by 13 string. We've got to test it, of course. I equals 1 in. No, it's 2. It's not an array, so we can't. It's not an array or a collection of objects, so we can't use in. I'm so used to using in, but it's for I equals 1 2 string length. So it makes sure we go through all the characters. That should be it. Control F5. Run an AU3 check. Check the syntax that it's all legal, and run it. So we're going to do sample text exclamation, throw some symbols in there, text 1 2 3, and we get our encrypted string. What I need to put a thing in there to copy it. Let me just stick it in here real fast. FNZ CYR GRKG123. Should have it stick it in the clipboard probably. Run it again. put this in, and sample text 1, 2, 3. So it is working. That is basically the end of it. However, just a little extra thing I'm going to put in, because I always like to make things, I always think about the ease of use and thinking, what would make people go, oh, that was nice, I didn't have to blank, the program did it for me and predicted it. That is what we're going to do. Input box, default text to have in there, we're going to do clip get. So if they have somebody already, if they have something already copied in the clipboard, it'll appear in the input box. We don't want to assume that they want to copy the output text though, so we're going to do a yes or no message box, which is the flag is 4. And we're going to look at the result from it. And a question mark icon, 32. And I like doing the system modal, so 4096 as well. Do 2 more spaces, and it's getting a little hard to read, so I'm going to break this up by putting in an underscore, doing a new line here. Another one here for the next line. And would you like to be put into the clipboard? And now we do if IQ equals, I think it's 6 for yes. Yeah, 6 for yes and 7 for no. So only if they click yes. If there's an escape, if the message box is closed out, basically it's going to return an error. If they click no, it's going to return 7. It's going to return an error, which means it's going to be return 0 and then set the @ error keyword in AutoIt. Then clip put s encrypted and if exit. So as we can see, it's worked. So we have what was in the clipboard from before already there. Okay. Would you like this to be put into the clipboard? Yes. And there it is. Go ahead and compile it for no good fucking reason, in case I want to use this later. I probably will. Could also make a console-based version, you know. But AutoIt has trouble interacting with the console sometimes. It can attach itself to the standard in and out and standard error of processes, but accepting text from the console is not something AutoIt is very deft at doing. So it's just going to be the simple input box, message box interaction. That's it, though.